Hi, it's Mark Donegan, host of the Marketing Execution Podcast. Brain scans show scarcity bypasses normal decision-making entirely. Your customer's brain skips evaluation steps and jumps straight to buy now. But here's the catch. Use the same tactic twice and you destroy trust fast. After years running pricing and positioning for B2B tech, I've seen this principle misapplied constantly. Now, here's my conversation with Tim on the topic.
Tune in, listen up, it's marketing time. Bright ideas sparking, blowing your mind. From strategies to big exec dreams, catch the buzz and join the execution. Marketing Convo.
Welcome to the Marketing Execution Podcast. This is the show for tech founders and leaders building B2B products and technologies. We show you how to go further, faster to get the business results you need.
From strategies to big exec dreams, catch the buzz and join the execution. Marketing Convo.
Mark, we always talk about the psychology of marketing, right? The triggers, the hooks, all that stuff. But I stumbled across this conversation about scarcity, and I realized I don't think most founders actually understand what scarcity is. Like, they think it's just slapping a countdown timer on a landing page.
Oh man, Tim, you're hitting on something that drives me absolutely crazy. Because you're right. Most people hear scarcity and they think, oh yeah, flash sale, only 3 left in stock, buy now or miss out forever. And look, that's one tiny slice of it. But scarcity is so much deeper than that. It's actually one of the most powerful psychological forces we have access to as marketers. And here's the thing that blows my mind. It's also one of the most fragile.
Wait, hold on. Powerful and fragile? That seems like a contradiction.
I know. It sounds weird. But let me break this down because I think there are really 3 things founders need to understand here. First, scarcity literally rewires how the brain makes decisions. Second, there are multiple types of scarcity, and using the wrong one will backfire. And third, and this is the one everyone screws up, if you fake it, you're done. Your reputation is toast.
Okay, so let's start with the brain stuff, because I feel like that's the foundation, right?
Yes. Okay, so there have been actual MRI studies, like brain scans, where researchers showed people products that were scarce versus products that were abundant. And when something was scarce, the part of the brain that handles valuation, it just lit up, like instantly. The brain automatically assigned a higher value to the scarce thing. Scarcity equals value. That's the equation.
So it's not even a conscious choice. It's happening below the surface.
Exactly. And it gets crazier. In another study, they found that when people faced scarcity, the normal decision-making process in the brain, it just got skipped. Like the brain said, this is urgent. We don't have time for our usual deliberation. Make a decision now.
That explains so much about my Amazon cart at 2 a.m.
Right? And this isn't new. This is primal. Our ancestors had to survive when resources were genuinely scarce. Food, water, shelter. If you didn't act fast, you died. That instinct hasn't gone anywhere. We apply it to sneaker drops now instead of hunting mammoths.
Okay, so that's the why. But you mentioned there are different types of scarcity. And I think this is where founders get confused. Can you break that down?
Yeah, so this is where it gets tactical. And honestly, this is the stuff we love talking about here on the Marketing Execution Podcast because it's so actionable. So you've got 4 main categories. Time-related scarcity, that's your flash sales, your countdown timers, your coupons that expire. Then you've got supply-related scarcity, which is about limited quantities, only 100 units available, exclusive distribution, that kind of thing. Third is limited edition scarcity, which is a twist on supply. It's the same product, but with a slight variation that makes it special. And finally, demand-related scarcity, which is all about popularity, bestseller labels, most popular badges, things that signal everyone else wants this too.
And they don't all work the same way, right? Like you can't just pick one and apply it to everything.
Exactly. So here's the key insight. Supply-related scarcity appeals to people who want to feel unique. They want to stand out. They want something nobody else has. Think luxury goods, limited drops, collaborations. But demand-related scarcity, that appeals to people who want to conform. They want safety in numbers. They're thinking, well, if 1 million other people bought this, it must be good.
So you're saying the same tactic could attract one customer and repel another?
100%. I heard about this one company that was selling to an older demographic, like retirement age. And they kept pushing these high demand, everyone's buying it messages. And it totally flopped because that audience already has established preferences. They don't care what everyone else is doing. They actually found the crowds annoying. They didn't want to wait in line, metaphorically or literally.
So you really have to know your customer.
You have to. And here's the other piece that's critical. If you use the same scarcity tactic over and over, it stops working. For example, there was this one retailer that had a 50% off sale every single week, and customers figured it out. They stopped buying at full price entirely. They actually devalued the product in customers' minds. The scarcity wasn't scarce anymore.
And that brings us to the fragility piece, right? The trust issue.
Yeah, look, we live in an age where customers can verify everything. If you say only 5 left in stock and someone refreshes the page and it still says 5, or worse, it says 7 now, they're going to call you out. They're going to leave reviews. They're going to tell everyone you're manipulating them. And once that trust is broken, it's almost impossible to rebuild.
So the rule is, if you're going to use scarcity, it has to be true.
Has to be. No exceptions. And honestly, that's good news for founders who are building real businesses, because authentic scarcity is everywhere if you look for it. You only have so much inventory. You only have so many hours in the day. Your team can only onboard so many customers. Lean into what's genuinely limited.
Mark, that's fascinating. Let's pivot for a second and talk about what this means for a founder with zero budget.
You know, Tim, that's actually the perfect question to land on, because founders think scarcity is a tactic you buy, like it's some expensive tool you need budget for. But the truth is, scarcity is already baked into every single startup. You just have to recognize it.
Okay, I'm with you. But help me understand what you mean by that. Because I'm picturing the founder listening right now who's got maybe a few $1,000 in the bank, and they're thinking, how does this apply to me?
Right. So think about it this way. What do you have less of than anything else when you're starting out?
Time? Capacity? I mean, there's only so many hours in the day.
Yes, that's it. That's your scarcity. And it's completely authentic. You're not making it up. You literally cannot serve everyone. So when you say to a prospect, look, we're only taking on 3 new clients this quarter because we want to deliver exceptional results, that's not manipulation. That's the truth.
So you're saying the constraint is the strategy.
Exactly. And this is where it gets really interesting for B2B specifically, because in B2B, the stakes are higher, right? The deals are bigger. The relationships matter more. So when you use scarcity authentically, it actually builds trust instead of eroding it.
Wait, hold on. That seems counterintuitive. How does creating urgency build trust?
Because you're being honest about your limitations. I know a company that was doing enterprise software implementations, small team, maybe 8 people, and they kept trying to act bigger than they were, saying yes to everyone. And you know what happened? They overpromised, underdelivered, and their reputation tanked.
Classic founder trap.
Total trap. But then they flipped the script. They started being upfront. They said, we only work with 5 enterprise clients at a time because that's what allows us to guarantee results. And suddenly, prospects were competing to be one of those 5.
So the scarcity created the demand.
It created demand and it created better clients because the people who waited, who fought to get in, they valued the relationship more. They were more engaged. They got better outcomes. It became this virtuous cycle.
Okay, so that's supply-related scarcity. But what about the demand side? How do you signal popularity when you're just starting out and you don't have 1,000 customers yet?
This is where founders need to get creative and honest. You can't fake social proof, but you can highlight genuine momentum. Maybe you've got a wait list of 50 people. That's real. Maybe 3 well-known companies are in your pilot program. That's real. The key is finding the true signals of demand and making them visible.
So it's not about inflating numbers. It's about surfacing the proof that already exists.
And here's what most people miss. In B2B, the type of scarcity you use has to match your buyer's psychology. Remember what we talked about earlier? Some buyers want to stand out. They want to be first. They want the exclusive thing nobody else has yet.
The early adopters.
Right. For them, you use supply-related messaging, limited beta spots, founding member pricing, exclusive access. But other buyers, they need safety in numbers. They need to know that respected companies have already taken the leap.
So you're saying the same product might need completely different scarcity messaging depending on who you're talking to.
100%. And this is where knowing your customer becomes everything. If you're selling to innovation-driven tech companies, lean into exclusivity. If you're selling to risk-averse enterprises, lean into social proof and popularity signals.
Man, this is making me rethink so much. Because I think a lot of founders just default to whatever scarcity tactic they've seen work somewhere else, without thinking about whether it fits their specific buyer.
And that's exactly why it backfires. The brain science is real. Scarcity does trigger urgency, but the brain is also really good at detecting manipulation. So if your scarcity doesn't feel authentic to your situation, buyers will sense it. And once that trust is broken, good luck getting it back.
So the takeaway for founders is basically, find the scarcity that's already true about your business and lean into it.
That's the foundation. And then match it to your buyer's psychology. And whatever you do, never fake it. Because in today's world, people will find out, and they will tell everyone.
Okay, Mark, this has been incredibly eye-opening. I feel like we've really unpacked why this matters at a deep level. But now, I want to get super practical. For the founder listening who's ready to actually implement this stuff tomorrow, what are the specific moves they should make? Let's dig into the how.
Okay, so first thing, step 1, you gotta audit your own business for authentic scarcity. Grab a piece of paper right now. Write down 3 things that are genuinely limited about what you offer.
Like, what kinds of things?
Your time, your team's capacity. Maybe you only have bandwidth for 5 new clients this quarter. Or maybe your product has a feature that took 18 months to build and nobody else has it yet. That's real scarcity.
So you're not making anything up, you're just surfacing what's already true.
Exactly. And once you identify it, you gotta communicate it clearly. Think about how Superhuman did their launch. They had a wait list, a real one. They literally could not onboard everyone at once because they did personal onboarding calls for every single user.
Right, and that waitlist became part of their brand story.
It became the story. People were bragging about getting off the wait list. That's demand-related scarcity working perfectly. The product was scarce because everyone wanted it, and they made that visible.
So step 1 is find your authentic constraint. What's step 2?
Step 2 is match your scarcity type to your buyer. This is where most founders mess up. They pick a tactic because they saw it work somewhere else, but they don't ask whether it fits their customer.
Give me an example of getting this wrong.
Sure. Let's say you're selling security software to banks, big enterprise buyers, risk-averse. They don't want to be first. They want to know that 50 other banks already use your product and nothing broke.
So telling them about your exclusive beta program would actually backfire.
It would freak them out. They'd think, wait, this is untested? No, thank you. But if you're selling to a cutting-edge AI startup, that same exclusive beta message makes them feel special, like they're getting early access to something nobody else has.
So the same product might need totally different scarcity messaging depending on who you're talking to.
100%. And this is where knowing your ICP becomes everything. Are they innovators who want to stand out? Or are they followers who need safety in numbers?
Okay, so we've got find your authentic scarcity, match it to your buyer. What's the third move?
Third move is make it visible and specific. Vague scarcity doesn't work. Saying limited availability means nothing. But saying we're accepting 3 new enterprise clients this quarter because our implementation team is fully booked, that lands differently.
Because it's believable.
And verifiable. Think about how Notion handled their early growth. They didn't just say we're popular, they showed the waitlist count. They shared how many teams were using it. Real numbers, real proof.
And that creates social proof and scarcity at the same time.
You're getting it. The best scarcity marketing doesn't feel like marketing at all. It feels like transparency. You're just telling people the truth about your constraints.
So what about founders who are just starting out? They don't have 1,000 customers yet. They don't have a wait list.
Great question. Here's what you do. You find the smallest true signal of demand and you amplify it honestly. Maybe you've got 12 people who signed up for early access. That's real. Say it. 12 founders have already joined our early access program.
Not 12,000, just 12.
And that's okay, because 12 is specific, 12 is believable, and 12 creates a mental picture of real humans who made a real decision. That's way more powerful than some inflated number that feels fake.
This is making me rethink so much about how I've seen companies position themselves.
Absolutely. And here's the last piece. You gotta protect the scarcity you create. If you say you're only taking 5 clients, you better actually turn away client number 6, because the moment you break that promise, you've destroyed all the trust you built.
So it's not just about the marketing message. It's about actually running your business that way.
The marketing and the operations have to match. Think about how Basecamp has always operated. They've never tried to be everything to everyone. They say no to features all the time. That constraint is their brand.
And it makes the people who do choose them feel like they're part of something intentional.
Exactly. Scarcity done right creates belonging. It creates loyalty. It makes customers feel like they made a smart choice by getting in when they did.
Mark, this has been incredibly practical. We've covered a ton of ground today. Can you pull it all together for our listeners and give them the big picture summary of everything we've discussed about scarcity marketing?
All right, let me bring this all together. We started by talking about why scarcity works at a brain level. It literally rewires how we make decisions. When something is scarce, our brains assign it more value automatically. That's not a trick, that's evolution. Then we broke down the 4 types of scarcity: time-based, supply-based, limited edition, and demand-based. And the key insight is that you have to match the type to your buyer. Innovators want exclusivity. Risk-averse buyers want social proof. Get that wrong and your message backfires. Then we got practical. Find the scarcity that's already true about your business, your time, your capacity, your unique features. Make it visible with specific numbers. and never fake it, because customers will find out, and trust is almost impossible to rebuild.
Mark, after everything we've covered today, what's the one thing you really hope founders don't forget when they walk away from this episode?
Scarcity is not a tactic you add to your marketing. Scarcity is the truth about your business that you finally stop hiding. The moment you embrace your limits instead of apologizing for them, you become magnetic.
The Marketing Execution Podcast is produced by Growth Stage Marketing. We are on a mission to see your company reach wild success using marketing pods.
Too big, accept dreams. Catch the buzz and join the execution. Marketing Convo.
Thank you for listening and being a part of the marketing execution movement and community. To learn how growth stage marketing clients reach more buyers and drive business impact, go to growthstage.marketing. That's growthstage.marketing.